Alright, what's going on, y'all? So, over the last few days, obviously there's been a lot of talk about the new strain of the coronavirus. The UK variant is what they're calling it, the United Kingdom variant. So, basically, it's a lot more infectious, but it's about the same level of deadliness. So, it's pretty interesting. So, as you probably already knew and suspected, the mainstream media and social media, they're pretty racist. They discriminate against people. I mean, it's offensive and derogatory to all UK people everywhere because obviously it originated there, so it should be the UK virus, just like the Spanish flu. It's now the UK strain of the coronavirus is what they're calling it. Or, I mean, I have seen some other people, they call it like the UK originated strain of the virus, which isn't quite the same as calling it the UK strain of the virus. But I'm old enough to remember the hypocrisy that is going on here right now. So basically, when when COVID originally hit, there wasn't really a consistent name for it. A lot of people were calling it the Chinese virus, the China flu, stuff like that. I remember, and basically everyone was kind of calling it their own thing for a while, like for the first few months. So like back maybe like a year ago, people were calling it whatever. Then over the months, it kind of constrained into just calling it a few things. Mostly COVID is basically what they called it. But I remember one of the main things, basically after Donald Trump said the Chinese virus, they basically called him a racist. They called everyone who says Chinese virus a racist. And there is one thing I wanted on a side note. I'm impressed with like the level of consistency and dedication he was in. Because I remember listening to one of his speeches like 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago, and he's still calling it the China virus, and I kind of got a giggle out of that. Like he's not giving up on it, even though it's been like 9 months since it was called that, and he's still calling it that. So I got a little bit of enjoyment out of that. But so there's the new UK strain, right? And people are calling it the UK strain like it's not racist. So all the previous things before is like it's offensive to all Chinese people to call it the Chinese virus, and then people would say, "Oh, well, we called it the Spanish flu. Why not call it the Chinese virus?" I called it the Chinese virus just kind of to stir up the pot, get people upset. No one really got upset with me. People don't really care that much, but obviously the mainstream media does. So I'm really, disappointed in them for discriminating against all United Kingdomers. Obviously, I'm just kidding, obviously. But the main thing that I'm amazed with is so that China actually like was responsible for it. So like it developed in a wet market that has been known to have this possibility of creating a similar virus like this for a long time. And basically, wealthy people there were using the wet markets for bats, for like bat soup, and it's kind of like a delicacy there. But we knew that it was possible that something like this could happen, could originate from one of these wet markets. Yet China never shut them down. And then even when it was discovered, they covered it up and they would halt all domestic travel to the region where it was at, but they would still let international flights in and out. So they basically knew about it and covered it up. So they're actually at fault for it, right? Like when people say, "Oh, well, it's China's fault," like they literally caused it and then caused it to also spread like it did. They let it get out of hand. Basically, is the main consensus of it, which is true. And then they're still jailing people who are talking about it originating there. So I mean, it really is their fault. Unlike the UK one, which all it did is originate there, and then immediately they lock it down, right? Like as you should do, they report upon it as you would do as like a responsible country would. You let people know what's going on, and obviously it's not their fault. Unlike the Chinese strain of the virus, obviously where it originated, it actually was China's fault. So I just found it really fascinating. The double standard set there. I don't really know why they're willing to call it the UK virus, but not the Chinese virus. I find it fascinating. Uh, I'm pretty amazed, honestly. Like I can't get over it. Like it's like trending on Twitter, like UK virus. So the double standard is just amazing, honestly. I don't get how you could wrap your head around that one. How these people have a job? Like they needed to learn to code like a couple of years ago. Honestly, I don't know how anyone still believes them finding them incredible, all that stuff. So, you know, that's basically all I got on my mind today. I was on Reddit and Twitter. I'm like, man, what is going on here, right? I thought it was racist to name viruses after countries because, you know, obviously it's not everyone in that fault's country, right? It's not everyone in China's fault, right? It's the Chinese Communist Party who's at fault. But I guess everyone in UK is at fault for the new strain of the virus, obviously. So that's basically all I got on my mind today.